chairman yenka the specifics of near RB. Nedi can ura jakpa, wanya de. Near Echoes, chairman, I mean, nobody would tell me, say, he didn't plan it, or she done, or yeah. And Casey has been going on since 2021, I'm starting here, He even refused to file a defense. At some point, there was even a bench warrant issued for his arrest because no time court. Yes. Oh, Chairman, who shared the chronology of events in court now? It is telling. And anything I say, if you have who assembly can, look, it is not by recording your conversation with the Attorney General Nebebwa. I'll come to the indiscretion of the Attorney General himself. Because, Chairman, if you are dealing with an accused, you should be, mindful or measured in the way you engage him. Especially who said this is somebody who is unwilling to open his defense, he keeps dodging court and so on. Or he even had to leave his lawyer of his services, one Thomas Obin. Or Pamino Ekofa Robai. What do I say? Now, my issue is that, Chairman, this is an incidental matter and an issue to the proceedings in court. How does that change, because the Mati said they've closed their cases. And yes, sir, the Attorney General is closed. And in Yawake, Chairman, how did the Attorney General presented? It has no effect whatsoever that the Attorney General, do you see here? Secondly, the question I'm is how come to the ethics of the conduct of the Attorney General? But before then, I just want to concentrate a bit on Mr. Jakpa. I say who said was the case of the Attorney General built around the testimony of Jakpa? The answer is certainly no. He did not build his case around the testimony of Mr. Jakpa to the extent that Obetimaka said, who's key testimony in the Bebuami? And the supposed claims there is evidence. Actually, say he was being coached or coerced. The word they are using now is being coerced. Obi had a voluntary conversation, a willing participant in the conversation. I didn't coercion. How can having a voluntary, willing conversation with Obi? You are discussing, all of a sudden that turns out to be, say, he was coerced to give a certain skill testimony. And tape now, because that's the basis for these claims. Chairman tape, she knew there's nothing. Unless
are you sure?
Another tape, but if a tape now, your boy and run, there is nowhere in that tape. I heard the Attorney General telling Mr. Jakpa, say, Ugo court na kokase nisi. All you heard was, I will not do it the way you want me. I will not agree to do it the way you want me to do it. I will be dishonest. But nobody heard what the Attorney General was telling him to do. Because Attorney General say, okay, then this is what the Attorney General said. And this was his response. But it is in response now is what we kept listening to. But the Attorney General that warranted and merited in response no obianti. So you cannot say because he said I won't do it the way you want me to do it. No, for all you know, it could be anything else. Chairman, it could be anything else. It couldn't, in fact, for all you know, and not necessarily in the testimony. It could be something else. But until Obi is able to play the voice of Godfrey Dami, Okase, I want you to submit your testimony in this fashion. Then the response follows. Ekase, I won't do it the way you want me. Then we know, there is a correlation. But you cannot expect me to magically assume, the response was to a certain question, a certain commenter. The Abraminti is our commenting here. So it leaves the tape. There are a whole lot of questions to be answered. What is here? Now again, you have a telephone conversation with the Attorney General. Now, which means from the get-go, this is my plan. until he refused to open his defense. Later, when he was forced to do, he then decided, look, let me try to trap the Attorney General. Until he starts reaching out to people, including, unfortunately, the Supreme Court judge. And also, I think he ought not to have entertained it.
Are they?
Chairman, the person could even be your mother. You are now a Supreme Court judge. No, it's the truth.
But family is family, Abi?
No, what, Chairman, why? We didn't send him there to be looking after family and friends. No, there is a dictum in the legal profession that says that a judge like Caesar must be beyond reproach. But here,
where is the
reproach? Your family member is accused. He's standing trial. And the first thing you should have told him is, I won't get involved.
No, Masa, it's you.
No, that is what it ought to be.
No.
You see, Chairman, the judge erred in entertaining.
That's a different matter.
No. Until what was so dear another Supreme Court judge, by inviting me. But
the law is that you could do plea bargain.
So the Attorney General doesn't know the law.
No.
He had to take the Supreme Court judge to tell him the law.
That if you could.
No, but if you could, that's the point. So he's trying to influence his decision. That's, you see, we understand. It even sounds worse.
If you want to take advantage of the law, is that a crime?
So the Attorney General doesn't know the law about plea bargaining.
But he's saying that the procedure, it's only the procedure. For which reason? The procedure that he has adopted in getting to get the plea bargain done. That's what Attorney General's point.
The Supreme Court judge had no business getting involved. That's my point.
Oh, but that is your opinion. You are entitled to it.
Absolutely. And that is what I'm expressing.
Yeah.
Chairman, he had no business getting involved.
Okay.
Because, so does that mean, sir, if your family member, Sebi, commits murder, you would go to speak to somebody, the prosecutor or whatever. I mean, it's bad. It doesn't look pretty. But the other issue is I was distracted the flow.
But I see tape so at a point the age need be silent. I hope you are not recording me. Ayampa.
And no man, that's they'll play for you.
A telephone calling.
Telephone call.
Telephone conversation.
Okay.
Chairman, of course. It is possible to say, okay, but the issue is, why would you record Obia you are having a conversation on an issue like this? I just say, my strategy is, let me get this out.
That's what Kwame was saying, sir. From the get-go.
Disaffection and create the impression, sir, he wanted to procure conviction through dubious means.
Yeah.
And why did you then go to the Supreme Court judge? And like I said, we don't hear what the Attorney General says. All we hear is, I won't do it the way you want me. I won't agree to do it the way you want us to do it because I'll be dishonest. You have, and we don't know. Age or no so almost. It could be anything, Chairman.
So, this year.
Of course. In fact, I won't. This part I'm making near Okanyi features on that tape like many times. So you wonder how that happens. Say he keeps repeating. Okana ubewana another conversation about now asako the same thing. So to give the impression, say now or for sina manako ye bibi no see onye. But there's nowhere on that tape. Actually, the AG was asking him to go and do a certain testimony, and they have been saying he was forced to give false testimony. You are a willing participant in a telephone conversation. Oh, my chairman, my understanding of coercion is different from Neomukeyo. Say he's even free to say, I disagree. You know, what you are talking about, I disagree, and so on and so forth. How is that coercion? Now, Enundan, it is also sad. Say, according to Niamatiti, say he made the move for a plea bargain.
Who did?
The jakpa.
Yes.
Jakpa. And I expect the Attorney General to publish. Look, a woman's case no court, but it doesn't hurt since as for that's our letter. No, I don't know what the implications would be in court. But say, case in India. You see, there are 4 letters. I expect the AG to be able to publish at least 1 or 2 of them. Personally, the man wrote to him seeking to exploit the option of plea bargain.
He did so through his counsel.
And yes, so it's a letter. If anything, we need to, they should share the letter. so that this conversation can be situated in the proper context. Because they say, according to say, it is the AG's word against Jakpa's, and it appears because of the way it's been skewed. No, I said Jakpa, and yet Jakpa make the move for a plea bargain, and that AG was just trying to use him to get to somebody else. Chairman, if he wanted to use him to get to somebody else, he wouldn't be charging him. Onusu can also an accused person. So why would he want to use him to get to somebody else? Or he feels that Onusu did something wrong because he was a contractor. What you say? And if there are letters that are indicating, say, who's our letters, you know, and I find it strange, say, like from nothing, Jakpa would be going to his cousin if there is no desire for a plea bargain. Obesoriako, the justice, the Supreme Court justice said, me pese we should not intervene.
Kwame Naka be about indiscretion. Do you think the AG was too trusting?
I think so. Absolutely. No, I think so.
Yeah, sir,
I think so.
I'm prosecuting you.
Yes.
We a third accused person.
Yes.
I didn't think
no, because of the letters about plea bargain. If indeed these are true, if they claim about the
say
if those are true, then the AG would feel that this man is acting in good faith.
The good faith are Kwame Naka.
Yes. Because, Chairman, if I'm the attorney, no actual letter, Bremi, say you want a plea bargain, which means you are ready to make some concessions, make some confessions, and the rest of them. And in return, ABA either will commute, there will be some arrangement also for you. That's which means you've expressed some good faith in writing to me. Now, if you want to engage, Chairman, it's only fair. And in the spirit of good faith, I listen to you.
Only nature maybe Sabah said AG maybe have been too trusting.
Yeah.
Set tape no so I hope you are not recording me.
Even deep Okasadia.
18 chess or no one say
conversation
Akwaya mini din komwe BBB. And now common baby edun
no post channel.
Enya dia I was say kotoja.
Yes. Yes.
At that point, should he not have exercised some discretion?
He ought to have.
He was too trusting.
He was.
Back to Kwame Nadankan Asemno.
Discretion.
Nin komobium.
As you say, Ghana didn't have no, it's true.
And some are catching them to go some out to
now it's scary.
Scary.
Look, Obia, we Jini Diobia or young papa, we didn't come across through. This practice of recording conversation, but
anyway, I think to us
still on the indiscretion of the Attorney General. I think, sir, in my view, if there were to be any engagements, even though you wanted to act in good faith, if there were any engagements, they should have been in the office. Open, Obia, like if you have to have some of your attorneys around, Momombra, Mundin Komono. But like you said, he became too trusting. Probably because...
So we can't trust anybody anymore.
Hey, Chairman.
We can't have a confidential conversation anymore.
No.
Asem to me, I mean to me, we can't have a conversation anymore.
Chairman, where you trial? And I felt,
it is a said here, Sronipa.
Oh, yes.
I think to us.
Chairman, I felt, sir, to the extent that he's the prosecutor, he should have been a bit careful. Especially we shared the conduct of the accused person. He was trying to dodge the proceedings. Like, no, now Onosu, Chi, Alagbajis, Bakumi, Nubi on the way until there was even a bench warrant on his head. So he ought to have been more circumspect. And the other issue is in the ethics of the law practice. If there are letters about the application.
By the way, you say letters now already in the public domain.
I haven't cited one. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen them.
Which is from Thomas Robin James.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Then these are letters that I'll have to, get a copy for myself. And the chairman, Obia Sana, I would have felt, say, ethically, if you are the prosecutor, unless the conversation gets to a certain point, having a phone conversation with the accused, I think the AG could have done better. Now, the bit about going to Justice Kolendi, Nioye was in bad taste. But again, the Attorney General, I'm sure would have been in a fix if a Supreme Court Justice calls you now, you won't call. I mean, it wouldn't have looked nice. What I say? But like I said, Sapapi, on strategy, you say, let's create a semblance of lack of credibility, manipulation in the eyes and in the minds and on the minds of Ghana for. Oh, so that case Nankasana Ewo Court, no, the focus will be shifted from Eno. Now, if any no Nayaka who has me. But Niami Pesa Mitias and say, and I Niam Pesa amount for Etias and say, some court of public opinion is a honor. That is why it ends so. Say Becca and so on and so forth. But beyond that, would it have any effect on the real proceedings in court?
I doubt it.
What you say? And at the end of the day, it is about the strength of evidence that you submit. And like I was asking, AG case, was it all about jakpa? So that the testimony, if it is found out, say, in their words, he was coerced to give the kind of testimony he gave, then the entire case will crumble. If it is on the strength of the evidence he had, documents, and that's what I understand, including responses from former ministers, and now all building the case around here. Not just any, we are just buying time for, my understanding is that the judge are all cases with the brutal. Say, when things have to proceed, media, my only worry, like I said, and say, we are now gradually shifting with our partisanship, with our needless and sometimes very cancerous partisanship. We are taking it gradually into the judiciary. If we take it there,
to the judiciary.
I mean, it is their legitimate call. I mean, I support people's right to free speech because I've demanded my fair share of things in the past and I will continue to do. But no. Is it because Jakpa Eka say? Is it because of the tape now, Mobo and Intina? They're asking for him to resign. If that is the case, then they would have to prove a lot more because maybe on the other tapes, he said other things that are incriminating enough for them to make that demand. Until say, tapes in the almost they have more. I have no idea.